Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Super Meat Boy. This is Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and today we're going to continue on with Rapture. In the last episode we beat the two hardest warp zones in the game. At least I think they're the most difficult ones. So in this episode we're gonna go on to finish Rapture. Yay! Now if we can just find the kid who we just unlocked, literally the kid, let's get right to it. Oh, I'm actually recording this right after I did that last recording, so I might be a little bit tired. And I know that sounds really lame and nerdy to be tired after doing a level in a video game, but it really is. It does feel physically exhausting, especially in this summer heat, and turning off the fan so there isn't any background noise. But I'm just making excuses for myself now. Now, another new mechanic of this world is zombies. And also, a hidden bandage. That I missed on my first go-through. It's kind of a tricky one to find. You press a button, and there's a zombie meat boy. Kind of creepy, really. Kind of very eerie. Just, ugh. But, they're ultimately not too difficult to avoid. Usually, what they do with the zombie meat boys, while they're easy enough to get around, they usually stick you in situations where you have to hang around with them, like that. Now, looking around this area, I can't really see anything too dangerous, except for these guys. Now, the thing about the zombie meat boys is that you can actually lead them to jump into saw blades. You can use zombie meat boy. Well, Zombie Meat Boy has the same weakness as regular Meat Boy, that being everything. The only difference is he'll make you explode before you make him explode. You can also jump high, so you have to watch out for that. And he looks like he's made of some more rotten meat. It's not so fresh. But then I suppose zombie meat wouldn't be fresh. Go and track this guy over here just to be safe, because I don't want to do this level again. We go hop up and get Bandage Girl, and then lose her promptly. Heretic. Oh, there's a meat dude right there to kill us, and one right there too. The kid did not sign up for this. The kid just wants to be the guy. But here we are. I knew something like that was going to happen. I just didn't know where they were going to fall from. The levels in Rapture also tend to be longer than the levels in the other parts of the game, which can be frustrating in certain levels. Oh, Jesus. See, that was just sloppy. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. But we're okay. And now we just got to run through here. Hi, Bandage Girl. Bye, Bandage Girl. 10 horns. But we just hop right up here, and here's probably the easiest warp zone to find in the game. Maybe not the easiest, but actually after the warp zones that we just did, this isn't an easy warp zone, but compared to the other ones, well, this is a welcome level. It's like, okay, if you got past those other warp zones, here's a breather. We also just totally skipped that area down there. I said something in the first video about not liking to skip stuff, but after all that stuff that we just went through, that I just went through in the last video, I'll take what I can get with this one. Or the game can punish me anyway. See, it's designed in a way that it makes it look like it makes you do the level twice to get that bandage. And that, or at least that little middle section down there. And I just don't appreciate that. So, we're gonna do it that way. Bye, Bandage Girl. Not even kidnapped, you just disappear. I can't remember if there's a bandage in this level or the next one. I think it's the next one. Saw blade cannons. I don't really understand this. level, like how it fits in with the Rapture aesthetic, how it fits in with all that. Is this supposed to be the aftermath, or what am I missing here? I don't know, I'm probably thinking too much into it, but it's just the other warp zones, not counting the Atari warp zones because nobody could tell what anything was on the Atari. Oh, brain fart killed me. Because on the Atari warp zones you can't tell what anything is, but in the other worlds, if each aesthetic carried over to the world that you were in... What? Okay, what I'm saying is, like, in the forest, the warp zones were foresty. You were in a forest. In the hospital, the warp zones were in a hospital. And in Rapture, you can go kill yourself. But this one just seems to be on a secluded island somewhere. See, now we have to be careful because we're on our last... I'm on my last life. And that's not a good time to be a poor platformer. When you're on your last life, you don't want to go through all that again. But infinitely easier than the other two warp zones. We unlocked somebody else with all our bandages. Nija. Nija? I think it's Nija. So, buy the kid. At 50 bandages in the Xbox Live arcade version of this game, you would have unlocked, well, now I'm all forgetful. Tim from Braid. Braid was a fun game, too. I never played Aquaria, but I'm sure it's... I don't know, it looks interesting. I want to give it a try sometime. This is Nija. She leaves little water splatties. She's supposed to be a mermaid. I don't know the whole story behind her, and I keep falling down into the maggots down there. Maggots in this world. Her ability is she can do a little thing. She can go dark and do a super swoopy jump, which is extremely useful in certain scenarios. But like a lot of the other bandage characters, the bandage unlock characters, she feels more gimmicky than anything. I didn't want to go back here. I could just do this as Meat Boy and save myself a lot of trouble, but I want to do at least one level as this unlockable character. Because I do like her. I mean, I like her design. She's certainly interesting. She stands out from the others. And she also flies into the maggots. Okay, actually, I am going to switch back to the kid. I mean, after all we went through to unlock this guy, I'm going to use him a bit more. I think I've earned it. I also earned exploding. We'll use Nija. Don't worry if that was a thing you were worrying about. I don't know why you were worrying about that, but it's more of a personal thing. I unlocked a character. I feel that I should show screen time for them. And we get over here, and we get Bandage Girl. Nothing to it. The lamb. The lamb. Actually, if you didn't notice, that level is a unique level. It's the only level in the game that has a bandage and a warp zone. So that's cool. Where are you, Nija? The lamb. Probably not the best level to do as Nija, or maybe it is. No, it's probably not. She's very tricky to control. And I'm not going to get onto a whole tricky thing. If you look down there, you can see a little maggot just kind of hopping around. Aww. They're smiling. I mean, forget the fact that maggots are completely disgusting. And those ones down there, not the ones that are writhing about, just the ones with faces are kind of cute in their disgusting little way. Okay. You know what? You get one more life. I'm gonna give this one more shot, and then I'm just gonna switch back to the kid. Because really, yeah. She's an interesting character, but she's not practical. She can help ace a couple levels in seconds, maybe. But, for the most part, she just feels gimmicky. Sorry. The kid, on the other hand, and Ogmo, well, double jumping has infinite applications. Physics be damned. King Carrion introduces a new enemy type. Not the maggots, we saw them in the last level, but these guys. The Carrions, the King Carrions, King Carrion. They home in on you. They'll home in on you so violently. And just like everything else, they'll make you explode. And sad. But you get out of their range of vision. They're, not vision, but... because they can still chase you, even when they're off screen. As long as they have the momentum to carry themselves towards you. Yeah, there's still an issue. See, this is where being Meat Boy would be especially useful. Because, quite frankly, the kid doesn't have the upward momentum, or he doesn't slide up so much as a boy made of meat does. You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd say Meat Boy was just the kid with no skin, but, you know, Meat Boy's a cube. The kid's a bobblehead. You know, I'm starting to think, no, we're not doing head grab. We are never playing as head grab again. I do not like head grab. I do not like how he controls, and I do not like him in his own game. As Rapture carries on, we move away from the city and more to this desolate wasteland, and we fall in the maggots and die. It's just, after you do those warp zones, the first two in this world, it's hard to come back to the rest of the game and think of it as being as hard as it was. I mean, the game is still really hard after those warp zones, but that would have been fun to watch. And maggot wall. Gotta be a little quicker on the draw there. But what I'm saying is, after beating those really difficult warp zones, the rest of the game isn't as hard, but it's still hard. And there's still gonna be a lot of deaths, and a lot of failed tries, and a lot of tears, and a lot of sadness, and a very poorly placed maggot. You're just going about your day, maggot. You don't mean it, I know. But get out of my way, please. Oh, no, 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 no. No hugs for you, little maggot. No hugs for the maggot. Rot gut. The funny thing about this level is that with Fly Wrench and maybe a couple other characters, you can just... see, these keep you away from just... that keeps you from just jumping right to Bandage Girl. But with a character like Fly Wrench who can triple jump, and I presume a couple of other characters, you can just trick it out and get over that and get right to Bandage Girl almost instantly. The level itself isn't too difficult, though, and I'm grateful for that. Here we show rhythm. We've got rhythm. We've got talent. I don't know. But we're coming back to the city with a highway in the background. This is a different kind of... but this section of the game isn't nearly as hard. Usually what I like to do with these King Carry-Ons in certain sections is you don't want to have to deal with them coming after you all the time. Oh boy, that was a bad idea. Okay, as I was saying, with the King Carry-Ons, sometimes the best thing to do is to just lure them off somewhere, make sure their momentum is low, and then just... how are you supposed to do that? Well, we got back up. That's all that matters. What I like to do with the King Carry-Ons is lure them off somewhere, slow down their momentum, and then get out of their homing radius. We get that back. And we don't want to fall down there. We got the bandage. We got Bandage Girl. Everything's happy, and then she gets kidnapped again. But all in all, only about 4 Meat Boys that took. It doesn't have a lot of... it's not a particularly hard level, but they're long levels. Rapture has some of the longest levels in the game. Very unashamed of that. Now these are a different kind of blocks. New mechanic. Missiles are back in Rapture. Not the Abaddon missiles, just the normal missiles. And now you need to use them to break certain walls. Some walls crumble when you touch them. Other walls, you need missiles to blow them up. So now missiles are kind of your friend, but not really. Looking at this level, I think we're going to have to visit an old friend. The intended way to do this level is to get the bandage, then get the key, and then wait for all those little key blocks to disappear while avoiding missiles and hovering between the two things. We're going to switch to an old friend, Jill, here. Why? Because her ability to slowly descend is absolutely wonderful with these anti-gravity devices. She'll just save us so much time. I usually don't like to take the easy routes in games, but this is just one of those levels that I don't really feel any satisfaction from doing the normal way. So, see? It's already done. If I was Meat Boy for this probably, or any other character really other than Jill, this would have taken at least 5 minutes or so. Just because. Bye, Jill. Your services are appreciated. And now we're at a this area of Rapture is different than the others. We also need a button. A button that's up here. It's fascinating how subtle the differences are. I mean, we started out in just a ruined city. We went through a wasteland. And now we're in this seemingly functional facility. While it still feels like... it's definitely still Rapture. Missiles... they're like the ones from Super Mario Brothers 3. Sometimes it helps. There are very few times in the games where just running right through helps. But that's one of those where it can be done to your advantage. Now we want to get up here as quickly as possible. Uh-oh. And just get over here and ignore everything else to just get Bandage Girl. There are no bandages in this level, but there is a bandage in this level. Also King Carry-Ons, who makes you explode if you look away for more than a minute. Again, you don't want these guys harassing you throughout the entire level, so it's best to just lure them all over. Make sure they aren't moving too quickly so they can fling themselves back at you from off-screen, because they can do that. It's very frustrating, but they can do that. Have you learned everything about Rapture? I don't think you learned enough about saw blades. And by you, I mean me. And by me, I mean idiot. Back over here. Working with 2 missiles at once, especially with a saw blade beneath you, it can be pretty... I wouldn't say taxing, but it is a bit to juggle mentally. In some levels, when it comes to the missiles, you just have to... eventually, dodging the missiles just gets relegated to some sub-process. And that's just mean. And I glitched through the wall? That was weird. I can't even be mad at that. That's just ridiculous. Is it because of those zombie meat boys down there? Are they giving you trouble? With the zombie meat boys, you want to lure them all over somewhere so that they're not... Oh my god. Or you can just get in the corner and get mobbed and explode. This is not good. This is bad. This is bad. This is not what you want to happen. This is why you want to lure these guys away. I don't even know why I'm playing this game of cat and mouse. Okay, that was lucky. Because usually if the... Okay, so we got them all over to one side. They're still kind of trying to run after me, but to no avail. And we're dead. Okay. We got the bandage. Now I just need to get the bandage girl, and we'll be done with all the levels. It's just getting the timing right and not falling down there, and we are done. Well, no. No, we're not. There is one thing, of course, left to do. Save that replay for fun, I guess. Actually, Rapture does have some of the most satisfying replays in the game, because with its long levels and constant places to die at, I mean, most of these Meat Boys got pretty far, but as always, the numbers thin out. Only down to about... See, there's the one that went through the wall. And I have no idea how that happened. Again, glitchy game. Doesn't like lagging. And I just hopped there for a minute like an idiot, being overly cautious. But I digress. Boss time. Larry's Lament. Meat Boy doesn't even seem to care. But this is Larry. Larry's. My favorite boss in the game. For one reason. This is the only boss in the game that feels like you actively have to destroy. That you have to guide into these saw blades, and that's the gimmick of the fight. The Larrys will jump at you from time to time, and you have to careen them into these saw blades on the sides, like we did with that first one. The first one is the easiest to get to do that. All subsequent attempts are a lot more difficult. First one, easy. But then after that, they start shooting out maggots when they jump into the air. And then you just have to generally avoid them too. You see? And they shoot off baby maggots, and if you're not careful, you're gonna die. There's also a bit of a glitch in this fight where if their head is underground, but they still hit the saw blade, they'll die, but their body will stay on screen for some reason. It's kind of silly looking. There is a couple ways to do this fight a little easier, by which I mean one way that I'm thinking of right now, is if you can get through those saw blades on the side there, you can just stand on the other side of the saw blades, and the Larrys will just kill themselves. They'll just hop right into the saw blades. But I'm not doing that, because that's cheating. And I don't cheat. I do things legitimately, except for that one level in the warp zone. Shut up. But sometimes it's just hard. This is also a game of patience. You gotta... I mean, if they don't jump, well, there's not a lot you can do. And I'm not sure what exactly triggers their jump cycle, if anything. Or if they just wait for you to move around, or if it's random. I mean, the first one is pretty much always automatic. First one, it'll always jump on the first go. I don't know if you have to run across the map or what. But even though it can be a little annoying, this is my favorite boss fight, because it is the only boss fight in the game that feels like it actively has you tricking the boss and getting it to destroy itself, rather than just running away until... I mean, I like the other boss fights in this game. The meat golem was a little fishy, but this is my favorite boss. It feels like a legitimate boss fight, instead of just a level with an extra hazard. Now we're down to 1. Actually, I think once you get down to 1, it's at its easiest. Because then you just have to worry about getting the one Larry to jump. Ah, boy! Or he can kill you just like the rest. That was just stupid. Oh, boy. Well, isn't that a nice little cliffhanger? But that's the thing about the Larry fight, is that sometimes it can take a long time just to get them to jump, and sometimes two will jump right in a row and kill themselves. It can go fast, it can go slow, but by far it is my favorite boss battle in the game, and I love it. But in the next level, not in the next level, well, I guess the next level, but in the next episode, we're gonna go after Dr. Fetus. See you in the next one.